Alright, so what's going on, everybody? JA News. Salute to you for tuning in. So we had an interesting day today as far as sneaker releases go. So we're gonna recap what went down. We also saw a surprise mystery Jordan brand restock hit DSG, as well as a concerning new Nike report has surfaced. So we're gonna get into all of the details, discuss why it's bad, and what it means for us here as sneakerheads. So guys, if you enjoy these updates, be sure to help support the channel by smashing the like button down below. You're watching JA News. Let's jump right into it. So we're gonna begin with this week's Supreme drop, where we saw them team up once again with Nike for a capsule, which included clothing. But of course, over here, you guys already know we're most concerned with the footwear, which throughout the years, we've seen Nike and Supreme release some legendary collabs teaming up on Nike staples, such as the Air Force One, the SB Dunk, as well as the Foamposite. So as far as this one right here, we see them teaming up here for the Air Max 1, keeping things real simple as far as the design, which I feel like is a good thing. So you got your yellow, white, purple, or black option. It looks like all four of these pairs did sell out today. So for me personally, I don't really see myself checking for Supreme collaborations like that. But as far as keeping things plain, I think they did a great job as far as the execution goes. So let me know down below, did any of you guys go for this release today? Now, for other Nike releases, for their Premier Sneakers app release, we did see them drop a new pair of the classic iconic Air Force One linen, but this was a little remix, which of course you guys see these ones do feature the canvas finish. Now, what makes this release so good, of course, the Air Force One linen goes down as a cult classic, a model which was really exclusive, dropping in 2001 in Japan. So you guys already know, very tough to get your hands on. Nike went ahead and brought them back sometime last year, and then you have this new iteration featuring the canvas finish as mentioned. So just a real clean colorway. If you really don't want to mess up your leather pair, you know, you got the canvas option as well to back you up. So we saw these hit the sneakers app, a limited release, somewhere like less than 3,000 pairs available, but Nike did also drop these through some other outlets as well. So this was a cool one, paying homage to, you know, that old classic cult release right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch gears over to New Balance, which they're releasing a pretty sought after release. I mean, I'm even seeing some people throwing out sneaker of the year contender for this one. I don't know exactly about that one, but they got a new Osaka pack, which this one is commemorating the new Osaka Kith opening, which is going down in Japan. So with this one, you got two different pairs, a 991 V2 as well as 992, which they did do exclusive access today, releasing through Kith. So as far as the details with this one, you had access to the 991 V2. As far as the 992, that one is first access for Osaka customers. And then as far as both pairs, they will do a raffle release, which will begin opening up tomorrow. So as I mentioned, as far as like Kith fans, they're throwing out sneaker of the year for this one. I don't know about that one. I got a strong argument against it as far as like New Balance collaborations. While I do enjoy some of their more hyped up collaborations, I'm just a sucker for just the plain old simple general release pairs. But as I always like to say, if you guys like them, I love them. And again, this was a release that people were throwing out sneaker of the year. Like, I just feel like my mind is blown on that one. Now, next up, we're keeping things New Balance, but we're gonna go ahead and get into today's bricks of the week. While I hate to do this one, these bricks actually are gonna be attached to one of the premier collaborators here in sneakers. This is one that I feel like heading into 2025, maybe not a lot of people expected, but we got the Salehi Bembry New Balance made in UK 991 V2. Now, when we initially first saw this joint's tease, this was the one that a lot of people were saying a lot of positive things about. We did see these released early via Sponge, but it looks like for today's New Balance drop, you have a complete full size run available, which I would have to say is pretty mind blowing, just based on all of the positive reviews, the great things that people were saying about this, the hype attached to everything that Salehi dropped. So pretty interesting to see, but I'm guessing it was probably due to the hefty price tag, which these came in at a retail of $274.99. Once you add in taxes, as well as shipping fees and everything like that, I'm not even gonna lie, bro, like 300 plus for these. I could see why maybe they weren't as enticing coming in for that retail price tag. Now, of course, you know, everybody gets offended when you throw out the term brick, but I just like to use the word brick for like hyped up collaborations, limited releases, which these brands expect to sell out instantly, but sometimes it's always not a quick hit like that. So I guess every release isn't gonna be a quick seller. It doesn't take anything about how great this sneaker is, but we're calling them a brick just due to the fact that it seems like the brand didn't really forecast this one. Maybe they made a little bit too many pairs, or could it be just the price tag is a little bit too hefty? Now we're gonna go ahead and jump here into today's fit of the day. Today we got somebody which just dropped a highly anticipated album, one that people have been waiting on for years now. It's about to go #1. I think he's about to move like 300,000 plus units. So of course, you already know we're talking about Playboi Carti, which these shots actually came recently. He featured here in the studio with A$AP Rocky, Ken Carson. You know, they're cooking up something new. So as far as this fit right here, he's got a good Pele classic leather jacket mixed up here with a pair of jorts, a super expensive bag. I don't know what it is. I just know that joint is probably expensive. Now, as far as this fit, the reason I wanted to highlight it today because his choice of footwear, very interesting. Now, I can't really make it out exactly, but I believe I got Carti. He's actually rocking a pair of Jeremy Scott Adidas. Now, I tried to look up which pair. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I want to say they're these Wings 4.0, which these actually dropped back in 2022. And y'all remember, these Jeremy Scott Adidas used to have people in a chokehold. This was back during like them A$AP Rocky, Peso days. Remember, that's the first time I seen somebody rocking those. And I've always admired the designs, the crazy design elements they've used with these models right here. But I would say they're probably not really for me, but have just always kind of admired them from afar. And I want to say the last time we saw a Jeremy Scott Adidas collaboration was 2023. So do you guys feel like maybe Adidas should bring these joints back? I don't know, but as far as Carti rocking them, I thought that was cool to see, you know, have some fun with it. I'm not saying he's like signed to Adidas or anything like that, but it's just cool to see, you know, people rock what they like with no brand affiliations or anything like that. So as far as today's fit of the day, go ahead and jump in the comments, leave your feedback, and you guys know what to do. Give this one a rating, 0 out of 10. And with those quick updates out of the way, let's go ahead and jump here into today's main stories, which we're going to be talking Nike. A shocking report has surfaced. We also had a Jordan mystery restock hit DSG, but first and foremost, I want to touch on this first look here. We got the Jordan 3 Pure Money, which this is another highly anticipated release from Jordan Brand's catalog. Earlier this year, we saw them drop the Black Cats, and it's real fitting that they're going to be dropping the Pure Money, like the yin to the yang to them joints right here, same year. But these are actually going to be slated for a summer release, July 5th to be specific. So perfect to drop the white 3s during the summertime. As far as the details on here, pretty much people are saying these joints are looking money. So definitely deserving of the Pure Money title. They even got that OG little embroidery there on the back. So joints are looking good. Not too much to say about them other than it's cool to see Jordan Brand bring these joints back. Out of the Black Cat 3s, Pure Monies, which ones would you go with? Personally, you know, Black Cat 3s are cool and everything like that, but if I had to just choose one, you know what? For some reason, I'll probably rock with the Pure Monies, but let me know what y'all think. These are set to drop July 5th. Nice summertime release, right in time for the holidays. Full family sizing. Adult pairs start at $200. Now, today we also saw a mystery restock hit DSG, which, of course, you know, this was everywhere. They were promoting it all over social media outlets and everything like that. 10 a.m. Eastern sharp. So of course, you already know people were excited based off this little image. You know, there was some speculation. Maybe it would be like the Black Toe, Jordan 1 reimagines or something like that. I felt like that was unlikely just due to the fact that aren't those like still sitting available like that. So as far as some other like high profile Jordan retros, of course, we had the Flu Game 12s dropped this year, as well as the Black Metallic 5s, which is actually the pair that it turned out to be. But as far as this mystery Jordan Brand restock, from the feedback I was seeing from people online, is that this is one of those just like instant sellout, you know, botters, scalpers. They were going nuts for these ones right here. So I guess with all the promotions and everything like that, a lot of people were checking for this one right here, and apparently word was is that it was almost just like a waste of time. But I guess a few people, you know, successfully were able to check out and everything like that. So we can't be real salty like that. You know, salute to everybody that took a W. But as far as this release, I mean, this really just feeds into what I call Nike's staggered release strategy. You know, rather than releasing all of these pairs at once, they're trying to keep the hype up. They're already limiting, holding back the stock. But as far as these like periodic restocks, some people would say it's late shipments. I feel like it's a clear strategy just to keep the hype rolling. Why drop all of these pairs at once when they can keep people on their toes, you know, going crazy for these restocks, which who knows? I probably would guess that we'll probably see another restock of these joints right here. But again, it's just Nike kind of playing games with people. And I would have to say I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I guess this is what you asked for, guys, because we have a new shocking report which has just surfaced. So this comes courtesy of Reuters, which is a respected financial publication. Now, Nike, they're actually about to report their Q3 financial earnings, which I know a lot of people don't really care about all of those boring details. But as far as this report here, it actually looks like Nike will be reporting their worst revenue fall in 5 years on stagnant demand. So this is going to be the worst that they've actually seen since we actually had to shut things down during the pandemic in 2020. So as far as the juicy details here, let's see what they're talking about right here. So let's see what we got here. Now, of course, we got a new CEO, Elliott Hill, who he just jumped in. Now, previously, it seemed like Nike was kind of over analyzing the stock, which a lot of their products were sitting on shelves so much that Nike actually had to reduce a lot of that stuff, put it on sale in order just to move inventory. So what we have right here, as far as this report goes, Nike pretty much reporting their worst, as I mentioned, since the pandemic in 2020. And as far as details right here, it says foot traffic in Nike stores is down actually 11%, according to the data. So that's pretty bad. And then on top of that, a very interesting statistic, it shows that downloads for Nike mobile apps, so that would include the sneakers app, are actually down 35% from the year prior, which I feel like is a direct response to kind of like people feeling like maybe Nike has fallen off a bit. Like, we know Nike is definitely number one as far as like in the whole sneaker landscape, but you got other brands just inching up, you know, while Nike stock is falling. You got Adidas slowly creeping up. They're not making a huge jump, but a slight increase. You got New Balance continue to do their thing. And then you got more brands stepping up to the table. Asics, Saucony, you guys already know what's happening right now in the sneaker landscape. And let's not even get started with runners like On Cloud and Hoka. So with Nike reporting this, I mean, it's just going to be bad headlines. You know, we're going to see this probably all over social media. You'll probably see like Complex, Nice Kicks with like some crazy headline talking about Nike's falling off and everything like that. But how will this actually affect us here as sneakerheads? So guys, remember, Nike sneakers app downloads are down 35% from last year. So you already know what that means. What they're trying to do is they're going to try to make it look like Nike is the king once again. And we're already seeing it with them limiting these Jordan releases, with them doing these exclusive access, little like restocks and everything like that. That's in order to bring up the hype. Remember, people felt like if Nike's scaling back on the releases, how does that translate into dollars? Well, what it's simply doing here is with them scaling back on releases, it's creating the illusion that a lot of these products are a lot more in demand than they actually are, which, you know, in turn creates that narrative that these releases are actually a lot hotter than they actually are. You guys already know what it is, supply and demand like that. So I feel like what Nike's trying to do is they're just trying to, like, you know, bring the hype back, bring the excitement back. You got people going crazy for hyped up Kith New Balance releases, which you would have never saw something like that happening like 5-6 years ago. So you see what Nike's trying to do. They're trying to make these releases limited once again. They want all the conversation to be about their products, and they feel like down the line it's going to return, you know, for a big payoff. So we've seen them do it in the past. We've seen them limit releases, and then of course once people get excited and want to buy up all their products, then they'll up the stock numbers, cash out, and then rinse and repeat the cycle again. But it's just kind of crazy to see the numbers down. Of course, these are reports coming from the previous regime with Nike. Their new CEO, Elliott Hill, while he just took over late last year, he hasn't had the full time to implement all of his strategies in. But what we've seen so far, scaling back on releases, but we'll have to see, you know, if Elliott's plan will come into effect, which we're going to see more of his fruits come into play coming up here next year. But as of now, Nike stock plummeting. We'll see, can they make a big turnaround? I would say that big splash probably won't happen this year, but into the future, I think they'll make that turnaround next year. And just for the record, Nike is still the king. They have the most market share here in the sneaker industry, but you got these brands slowly creeping up. So let me know what y'all think about this report here today. I feel like this is a direct impact here on us as sneakerheads, as they're going to be making a lot of these products that we love and enjoy. Last year, we were able to grab on sale. This year, a lot more difficult to grab. So drop your feedback on that one down below, guys. We're gonna wrap it up right here. Let me know what y'all think about today's video. If you enjoy it, smash the like button, help support the channel by hitting that like button down below. So I'll catch y'all next time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm J.A. and I'm out, y'all. Love.